Apple will has created an incredibly complicated system to deal with child sexual abuse material, and it is all done locally on your device before it is uploaded to Apple's servers. But what they're going to be doing is scanning iPhones for child abuse material. So Apple published a technical document that explains how their child safety features, developed in collaboration with child safety experts, works. It covers 3 areas. So one is communication safety and messages. So in iOS 15, the app will have tools to warn children and their parents when receiving and sending sexually explicit materials that is going to create some awkward conversations, which is probably a good thing for people to be talking to their kids about sexting and, those pictures and what might ultimately happen to them. But what it means on the phone is that this type of content will be blurred when a child receives it, and the child will be warned about it. Parents will be notified if the child opens it, and likewise, if the child sends a sexually explicit photo, messages will likewise if the child sends a sexually explicit photo. Messages will use on-device machine learning to analyze image attachments. Okay, so part 2 of this is detecting child sexual abuse material on device. So Apple has chosen to scan for it on the device rather than on their iCloud servers. I can see why Apple just wouldn't want it on their iCloud servers any more than necessary. And working with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and other groups and agencies, they've created an unreadable, that's a dangerous word to use, unreadable database of image hashes to compare your device's images to. So then before uploading a photo to iCloud Photos, it is compared against this database locally on the phone. If there's a match, the device creates a cryptographic safety voucher and uploads both to iCloud Photos. After an undisclosed threshold is exceeded, Apple will then be able to interpret the contents of the vouchers, the uploaded images, and the matching CSAM images. So CSAM is child sexual abuse material. And these will be manually reviewed. What a job. And it confirmed, makes my skin crawl. And if confirmed, the account will be disabled and a report sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Users can, of course, appeal if they feel they've been mistakenly flagged. Finally, number 3 is expanded guidance in Syrian search. So users can ask how to report CSAM or child exploitation and will be pointed to resources. Okay, so this is loaded, right? So industry watchers have expressed concern that the system and its implementation could be a proverbial slippery slope. If Apple is all of a sudden monitoring what kind of photos you're allowed to have on your phone or send or receive, what else will they be monitoring? And okay, while this might not be a problem in countries with, freedom of expression and freedom of speech laws that protect its citizens, what will other jurisdictions? I mean, I would like to think we can all agree that child pornography is abhorrent and should be illegal. But there are certainly places on Earth where things that we would consider to be just basic human rights might be illegal, especially for certain oppressed groups. So what is to prevent Apple from creating these types of systems, whether it is voluntarily, as it appears to have been the case here, or whether it is by force, by law, unless they want to exit a market? We've already seen them kowtow to the Chinese when they set up a data center in China that holds all Chinese users' user data. That data center effectively does not belong to Apple. And as we all know, any data center that you have physical access to, you own. The Chinese government has effectively through a proxy physical access to it. So what does this mean? Edward Snowden piped in saying, Apple is rolling out mass surveillance to the entire world with this. Make no mistake, if they scan for kiddie porn today, they can scan for anything tomorrow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a company that refused to unlock the phone of an alleged serial killer, this is a weird
This is
move.
an interesting turn. Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm not even going to try to decide what's worse, child abuse or killing non-children people. Like, they're both terrible. They're both unforgivable.
things are bad.
But it just seems to me that to decide, one of them is not worth trying to police and one of them it feels like a bit of an arbitrary line is what I'm kind of trying to say right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that for sure.
Really?
That's
You're not
smooth
going to say
talking.
anything?
I don't know what to say, dude. It's like you wanna hammer down on what I guess is now called, what is it? CSAM? Um but yeah, Snowden has a point, right? Like if they scan for this, someone will scan for anything.
Yep.
Um and like by someone it like you were kind of alluding to, like it won't even necessarily be Apple. If the ability's out there,
Yep.
other people will have it.
Yep.
It'll happen at some point. Um, and you don't know what data they're going to be able to be looking for. And this has nothing. I know one of the common defenses that people come to here is like, well, just don't break the law. And it's like, well, as I hope the last kind of few years have made a little bit more obvious, sometimes it's not exactly that simple. And sometimes, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a fan personally.
it's difficult.
I
Yeah.
think that's it. I think that I'm just gonna have to. This is gonna have to be a line in the sand for me. If Apple is going to say, kind of like how they say they're an environmentally conscious company, if they're gonna say that they're a privacy conscious company, this is a step too far, in my opinion.